The Dolphins were able to pull away from the Jets at the end, but not before Jay Cutler was injured. Matt Moore gets a start on Thursday Night Football. Deshaun Kaiser got the start, but Cody Kessler finished the game after Kaiser got benched. Ryan Succop hit the game-winning field goal in OT to give the Titans the win. LaShawn McCoy got back on track with 2 scores against the Bucs, who are now looking for answers after falling to 2-4. Rams and Cardinals squared off in London, but the story was Carson Palmer, who will miss 8 weeks with a broken arm. Drew Brees struggled early, but the Saints captured the win as Brett Hundley had some issues against a suddenly good Saints defense. Jacoby Brissett was sacked 10 times against the Jags, and TJ Yeldon returned as the Jags shut out the Colts in Indy. Raiders-Chiefs was a thriller, but Amari Cooper was the star of the win with 200 yards and 2 TDs as he returned to prominence. The Ravens are looking for many answers on offense, while the Vikings found a spark from Latavius Murray on their way to a 5-2 mark. Trubisky may have only thrown the ball a handful of times, but the Bears suffocated Cam all afternoon to pull out the win. CJ Beathard made his first NFL start, but Dak and Zeke rolled against the Niners as they dominated to move to 500. The Broncos came in with high aspirations after the Chargers' defense stifled Trevor Siemian, while Phillip Rivers was excellent. The Chargers won at home. The Steelers were all over Andy Dalton, forcing multiple turnovers, while the Steelers let Bell and Brown run wild to secure the win in the big ketchup bottle. A wild game from start to finish. Seahawks-Giants ending with a Paul Richardson touchdown catch. Seahawks rolled 24-7. And the rematch was on. Patriots-Falcons in the fog. It was the Patriots that showed up as they won 23-7. And then on Monday Night Football, the Eagles took hold of the best record. Highlights from that game and more on NFL Daily. Let's go.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into NFL Daily.
It's happening.
On this Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Hey, it's Harris Rubenstein.
Hey, that's me. How you doing, Cam?
Cam Rogers here as well as we take you through MVP Power Rankings Week 8, Harris. Week 8.
Week 8. We're halfway, well, kind of halfway through. We're almost at the halfway point, but this is when we get to learn who the real teams are. This halfway point, you got to hit the gas pedal, and you really got to charge through. This month of October and November is where the tough games lie.
And the Power Rankings tomorrow night will be very telling at that, Harris. Of course, we're doing the MVP Power Rankings today, counting you down from number 10 to number 1, as well as a fresh batch of LVP Power Rankings.
My favorite part of this show.
Least valuable players, of course, Harris, in the NFL right now, as we tell you that we are presented by Mizzen and Main. Fantastic performance fabric shirts that you guys will love out there. Harris, great for wearing to work, great for going out. And the best part, they're made right here in America. In fact, they say on their website, every time a man wears Mizzen and Main, a bald eagle gets its wings. That's such a beautiful one-liner.
I love it. You gotta love it. America. You gotta love something. No, but in all seriousness, these shirts are just straight like incredible. Like 10 out of 10, best shirts I've ever worn. Go buy the shirts. They're 100% worth the money. Like, there's a lot of times that you'll buy things like, ugh, this wasn't worth. This is worth the money. Go pay for one of these shirts.
There's the website at the bottom of your screen, comfortable.af, because they are indeed comfortable as F.
Like the kids say.
Just like the kids say.
Like the kids say.
Many thanks to Mizzen and Main for coming along here on the program. Time to get into some news and notes before we get to those MVP Power Rankings, and we will start with what is really an odd situation. Cam Newton, yet again, doing something weird with the media. By the way, he missed 2 media appearances last week. Now he finally appears, and he walks out in the press conference. Let's roll it.
You never know when you're in that moment until going back and looking at that moment. You know, it's easily said than done, just like a lot of things in this sport. But you know, we just have to start fast and just build momentum throughout the game.
And big plays, big chunk plays kind of get to that energy, I think, that you're talking about. Does this offense, and I know you had several at Detroit and New England, do you think you guys have the wherewithal to do that consistently week in and week out?
Next question.
You probably get...
It's Cam doing Cam.
He just leaves. He's like, I'm done with you people. Bye. Like, it was a weird. All right, it was both. It was a weird question, and it was also a weird question to walk out on.
Yeah.
Like, that was not a good question. Do you think your offense is capable of big plays? Basically,
What else is he going to say?
Was he going to say, no, we suck? Like, it's a weird question, but he shouldn't have walked out. But he's very clearly is very annoyed with the Carolina media right now. So what are you going to do?
We'll see.
Hashtag Cam.
Look, the immaturity
you,
problems. Yeah, exactly. The immaturity problems continue to mount for Cam Newton right now. And look, he's becoming less likable by the day.
Yeah,
Harris, I'll tell you.
It's crazy what happens to someone in 2 years.
Yeah.
He was like one of the most likable players in the NFL. He got the dab thing. He's giving balls to kids
Superman.
after touchdowns. Nope. No one cares.
More debacles with the media. All right, let's move on in our news and notes. The quarterback carousel in Cleveland continues. It was Deshaun Kaiser, then it was Kevin Hogan, then it was Cody Kessler. Now it's back to Kaiser. Harris, what's going on?
It's just the Browns, man. It's just the Browns. They Browns so hard. Like, and then you have Hugh Jackson coming out and saying, I know people think I have a quick hook. Well, you do have a quick hook, Hugh Jackson. You pulled him after he struggled in a game. Of course he's going to struggle in a game. Come on. Not great. I don't like it. I'm not happy about it.
Should they just roll with Kaiser the rest of the way this year?
Yes.
No matter what happens?
What are you going to roll with? Internal backup quarterback Cody Kessler? Or I shouldn't be a quarterback Kevin Hogan? Like, just start him. Your team has nothing else on offense. Joe Thomas is now hurt. Just start Deshaun Kaiser.
All right, so there you have it. Kaiser getting the start for the Browns. Moving on here, we have some more rough news about some star NFL players. It seems to be the theme so far this season. The Eagles have lost star left tackle Jason Peters as well as one of their linebackers in Hicks out for the year. Both of these guys, really tough to see.
Jordan Hicks is a pretty solid linebacker, mostly because like the depth of their position is not great. It's not one of their better. Like Nigel Bradham has been fantastic for them this year, but Michael Kendrick has been a little iffy from times, very inconsistent. But Jason Peters, you can make an argument, is one of the 3 to 4 best left tackles in football, even at the age of 35. He's so good. It really sucks to see him miss a season where they're finally good and now they lose their best offensive lineman.
And you can make the argument that we have lost in the last week and a half or so 2 of the premier pass protecting left tackles in the game, Joe Thomas and Peters.
You could even say that we've maybe lost the 2 best left tackles in football, right, in Jason Peters and Joe Thomas. I would have no problem saying we've lost the best 2 left tackles in football. I think it's kind of on a year-to-year basis, but reputation-wise at least, they're definitely 2 of the best, if not the 2 best.
All right, so there's your news and notes as we welcome you back on screen here. Cam Rogers alongside Harris Rubenstein as we take you through the MVP Power Rankings. You ready, buddy?
I'm pumped. Let's go. We have a good list this week. I think we did good.
We do. I think we did a good job.
I don't want angry comments. Well, I do want angry comments,
yes,
but I don't think we'll get any
That's
this
a
week.
good reminder, Harris,
Yes.
as we are completely live. We want you commenting and reacting throughout our MVP Power Rankings. Did we snub anybody? Is somebody higher than what you actually think they should be? So definitely throw in those comments. Let's get to number 10, Leonard Fournette, who was idle last week, if you will, Harris. Inactive, but of course his most recent game against the Los Angeles Rams, he rolled.
Now he needed a little tire change on the
go.
Mustang that is Leonard Fournette. Look, he keeps saying that the NFL is too easy and it's slowed and he's making it look like it, but he's been fantastic this year. We moved him down our list of spot because TJ Yeldon was so good that who knows, maybe the Jaguars just run the ball well, but I don't think that's true. I think it's just Leonard Fournette is a beast. I really do think he's about to become one of the if not already one of the premier running backs in the NFL. 4.6 yards per carry in your rookie season, 7 touchdowns through 7 games is fantastic. I'm very excited to see how much better he can get because he's already so good.
And he's a big reason why the Jaguars are so good right now.
Yeah, and people say oh, his offensive line's blocking well. What if Leonard Fournette is literally just making them look good?
Right.
Because they might not be that great. He can just be making them look good. That is a thing that is possible. I mean, I know they've been out one of their best offensive linemen in Brandon Linder the past couple of weeks. So Who knows? Maybe it's just Leonard Fournette's a monster.
Jeremy Parnell, Cam Robinson, the guards there for Jacksonville, they're not very good. They're not very highly graded.
I disagree with Pro Football Focus's grading of Cam Robinson. I think he's been much better than they give him credit for. I don't know what he's like in the run game. I think he's a better pass blocker. But, no, like I said, they're down their best offensive lineman, and he's still a beast.
All right, so Leonard Fournette checking in at number 10 in our MVP Power Rankings. Let's slide over to number 9. Dak Prescott, quarterback for the Cowboys, coming off a really nice performance against the Niners.
I think he deserves it just because if you look at his overall statistics, I think he's having an equivalent season to what he did last season, if not a better season. He's been consistent. He's been intelligent. He hasn't turned the ball over that much this year. And I think it's coming to the point where, and we'll have a weigh-in come up after Dak Prescott, I think it's coming to the point where if they don't have Ezekiel Elliott, I think they're going to be just fine. Producer Brett gave us a great stat that Dak Prescott has 3 touchdowns now in 3 straight games, which for him is great. Remember, he's still a second-year quarterback. He's only played a career 21, 22, 23 games. So the fact that he's been so good in such a short period of time is very inspiring, but I love that his completion percentage is good. 63% is good for him. I like that his turnover ratio is down.
So Dak Prescott has 7 career games with at least 3 touchdown passes with 1 or 0 interceptions.
Great.
Only Dan Marino has more, 9 in their first 2 seasons.
I think his overall statistical output kind of distracts people from how good of a quarterback he is. I think when you look at Dak Prescott and you have to value him, he's not going to put up gaudy touchdown numbers like Carson Wentz is going to do. But if you look at his efficiency numbers, Dak Prescott is going to be the Jamal Charles of quarterbacks. Jamal Charles accumulated some good statistical seasons over the course of a couple years, but what was crazy about Jamal Charles is that he was so efficient with his carries, highest yards per carry ever in NFL history. So that's what Dak Prescott's going to be. It's going to be his efficiency that keeps him in the NFL, not his overall numbers, and I think that's why he's on our list.
So the magic question as we have this weigh-in here, can the Cowboys make it to the playoffs without Ezekiel Elliott? I'll tell you this, Harris, if they do, Dak will be a big reason why.
If they do, Dak will be the reason why. And I think it's come to the point where last year it was a team effort. That offensive line, Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott's what got them there. This year it's been, I think personally, just, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but, we watch a lot of Cowboys fans. For naked eye, Dak Prescott has done so much more for that offense this year than he did last year. It's come to the point where he is making up for mistakes on that offense, which as a second-year quarterback is exactly what you want to see. I don't care about yardage numbers, total yardage numbers, whatever. That's what Zeke is there for. But the touchdown numbers and the efficiency numbers and the lack of turnovers is what I see, and he's been fantastic. Not to mention, Cole Beasley has been straight up garbage this year, taking away a lot of receptions off of Dak's numbers.
Bryce Butler has been a bit of a disappointment, as well as Terrence Williams this year, too. So.
Like, they catch touchdowns because Dak Prescott throws touchdowns, but most of their yardage has come on the ground this year.
So, Dak Prescott there at number 9 in our MVP Power Rankings. As we move to number 8 here, running back for the Rams, Todd Gurley, a guy I really love, Harris.
Yep. You called it first, man. You called it first.
He is a legit threat in the passing game, in the run game, and it's almost somewhat like a Leonard Fournette situation, Harris, where that offensive line isn't that great in run blocking outside of Whitworth there at the left side, and Todd Gurley's still finding ways to create plays in space.
What's been great about him this year is that while he's also running the ball super well, you can see that his ability to make plays in space has been just significantly upgraded this year. I don't know what was going on with Todd Gurley last year, but this season, whether it's the play calling or just Goff being better, they're putting him in positions where he's able to make plays and make moves in the open field. And he has been unstoppable in the pass game this year. And that's where the big increase for me has been. He's always been able to run the ball well. That's never been a question. I've always questioned his ability to catch and run, and he has been spectacular so far this year. I think he's only going to get better. And this Rams offense, man, this might be a playoff team. I said they're a prime team for regression, but if Todd Gurley keeps going the way he's going, I don't think it's going to happen.
Can we just appreciate how good he is right now when you juxtapose this season to last season?
Oh, my God.
Where it's a dumpster fire for Todd Gurley.
I remember we came into this season wondering if he was ever going to rush for 100 yards in a game again. Right. And now all he's doing is rushing for 100 yards a game. So I love to see it, especially coming off of that debilitating injury when he had in college. Love seeing Todd Gurley go off.
So Todd Gurley there at number 8 in our MVP Power Rankings. And, of course, we are counting you all the way up to number 1. We'll have our LVP Power Rankings coming up later in the show as well. Let's get to number 7, though. Deshaun Watson, quarterback for the Houston Texans, idle last week because he was on a bye. Now they are ready to go in week 8, and Deshaun Watson, a quarterback that is meant for primetime.
Simply meant he is simply moved down the list because of the bye week. He will be put back up higher in the list if he has a good week. We have him at 7 because there are a lot of players, 1 through 6, that had great weeks that we felt needed to be put ahead of him. But you're right, Cam. He's made for prime time. I know people get mad at him. Oh, well, all he does is win. But, he does. He performs well under the lights. His teammates adore him. Not to mention, Cam, he might just be one of the best young men that we have in the NFL today. He furnished 127 Houston families after Hurricane Harvey. This is a man that has not had a lot of NFL game checks. I understand he's making a lot of money. 127 furnished homes for families around the Houston area. Unbelievable thing to do that just shows so much character for Deshaun Watson. That's what you want to see out of an NFL quarterback, and that's what you want out of a franchise leader.
So Deshaun Watson tied for the lead in the AFC with touchdown passes of 15, the most ever by a rookie in his first 6 games of a season. So how about that?
I think that's absolutely spectacular. You think about a lot of the rookie quarterbacks we've seen, I think Deshaun Watson's probably on pace to run away a little bit in the second half with that Offensive Rookie of the Year award, but see what Kareem Hunt does for the rest of the season. We'll see.
So Deshaun Watson doing well for the Houston Texans. As we come back on screen, Cam Rogers alongside Harris Rubenstein. We are presented by Mizzen and Main. Fantastic performance fabric shirts that you can wear anywhere.
The best.
Anytime. Great comfort level. You don't want the gross cotton anymore that you got to iron. You don't have to iron these shirts. It's beautiful. And no dry cleaning either.
I don't have an iron. I don't have an iron, nor do I have an ironing board. I have a washing machine and a dryer, and that's what these shirts are for, which is great for me. You toss them in, you're done. And that sounds like a small thing, but it's not. We're all about efficiency in today's day and age.
Yep.
These shirts are efficient. They're way more efficient than cotton. You got to bring a dry cleaner. They smell really easily. No. Go with the Mizzen and Main shirts, throw them in the wash, and you're done.
Can I get a hashtag Murica, Harris?
Hashtag Murica.
These products are made in America. Head on to comfortable.af to check them out. So many thanks to Mizzen and Main for coming along here on NFL Daily as we move along to number 6 in our MVP Power Rankings. This guy has been here for quite some time, although a little lower than in weeks past. Quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, Harris. Coming off that fantastic performance in week 1. Remember, you thought maybe that would set the tone. There he is, Alex Smith.
He had a great week last week. The reason we moved him down, I believe, is that his simple likelihood to win the MVP has decreased. But I will say this. We had a stat given to us by our resident, statistician, basically, Mitchell Renz.
This is a great stat.
Alex Smith leads the NFL in completion percentage, yards per attempt, and passer rating through the first 7 weeks. The last 3 times a quarterback led the NFL in all 3 categories after 7 weeks, he won the MVP and also made it to the Super Bowl. Those 3 quarterbacks were Tom Brady, Matt Ryan, and Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, that was the Matt Ryan fraud season from last season, but those are some pretty hefty names to be up with. But my issue is that, I just don't see a world where Alex Smith, based solely off of his name being Alex Smith, wins an MVP. And I know it's a silly thing to say, but that's how this works.
Yeah, it has validity to it.
That's how this works.
Yeah.
You're telling me that they're going to give the MVP trophy to Alex Smith over 40-year-old Tom Brady who puts up 4,500 yards and leads the NFL in touchdown passes? That's a tough sell for me. That's a tough sell.
Maybe if Roger wants to stick it to Brady.
Yeah, or even a Carson Wentz who leads the Eagles to the best record in the NFC and is second in the NFL in touchdown passes. It's tough, but I got to say, incredibly impressive season so far for Alex.
You got to give the guy credit. And look, the Chiefs are on a bit of a skid right now, back-to-back losses, so we'll see if they can bounce back, of course, most recently against that Oakland Raiders team on Thursday Night Football. So Alex Smith there at number 6 in our MVP Power Rankings. Our LVP Power Rankings are coming up very soon. We do have one more player to go, Harris Rubenstein. Drew Brees, quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. And Brees recently joined Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, and Tom Brady for the 500 TD Club. How about that?
I love it. Congratulations to Drew Brees for being just the man who deserves an MVP but never got one.
Right.
He is if you look at, like Tom Brady compared to Drew Brees is the one that wins all the stat categories. Yards, touchdowns, total completions, total attempts. But they never give him the MVP. Even the era where he led the NFL in passing yards with like 5,500 passing yards, he didn't win. It's a shame. Drew Brees deserves an MVP. I just don't know if it's going to be this year. It's a shame.
It's amazing,
Drew Brees needs
though,
an MVP.
at his age, how well he's still playing in the NFL.
I love it.
And so
I love it.
I'm sure it gives young quarterbacks hope out there that, hey,
Yep.
I can play for a very long time and be an effective quarterback. So Drew Brees there at number 5, halfway through our MVP Power Rankings. As we said at the top of the broadcast, we want you commenting because we are completely live. We'll show them throughout the broadcast. We have Ron. Carr is a top 5 MVP. Ron, he's been hurt.
No, he's not.
He's missed a game.
No, he's not.
I don't know if we can put him in there.
No, he's not. Sorry, Ron. I am also a fan of the Derek Carr, but Derek Carr is not a top 5 MVP candidate. He hasn't. The Oakland's offense just got good last week.
Yeah,
They'll get there.
Let's
but
wait and
not
see.
yet.
Let's bring in Jason here. Alex Smith through week 7 leads the league in 3 major categories and hasn't thrown a pick yet. I mean,
He's a
got
beast.
a point.
No, he's a beast. He's been incredible. Like I'm not saying that he hasn't been good, but I went at this based off of likelihood to win the MVP, and I just can't see it.
Let's bring in Gene here, going with straight up Gurley. And Gene, let me tell you, Gurley has the best chance as a running back to win the MVP. I am living by those words.
That's a pretty easy one. All right, Cam, we did this last week, and I want to do this week. We have a trivia question for the people at home based off of Drew Brees. So Drew Brees, ladies and gentlemen, is about to become one of the only quarterbacks to have 6,000 career completions. So for the people at home and for you, Cam Rogers, who are the 2 QBs who have 6,000 career completions? The 2 only QBs, I should say, to have 6,000 career completions.
Wow. So they
have-
have to be modern era
So this
quarterbacks.
one's a little bit easier. We have a more difficult trivia question coming up later that is more fun. Get your comments in. I want to see if people are going to get this one right. This is something we're going to do from now on. So who are the 2 QBs who have 6,000 clear completions? Cam, who are you guessing?
Jeez.
I can't guess because I know the answers, obviously.
Manning, probably 1. And then
Which Manning?
Peyton Manning.
Good, thank
Peyton
you.
Manning, yeah. And then maybe I could see Drew Brees being up there too.
Well, Drew Brees is 12 completions away from 6,000.
Oh, okay.
He'll probably get it this weekend. So there's one more.
Marino, maybe.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it
we
is.
will have the answers for you soon. Chris Bell coming in saying Brett Favre and Peyton Manning. 'Tis a good guess. 'Tis a good guess.
You gonna
We'll give
reveal
you the
answer
answer
yet?
after the LVP Power Rankings.
Okay, all right. So stay tuned for the answer. We'll get there.
Tackle.
Keep throwing in those answers as we get to the LVP Power Rankings. The major disappointments here at number 5. He's a disappointment because he just has poor character
Don't mess
right
with
now.
Juju. What are you
Martavis
doing?
Bryant, wide receiver for the Steelers, put on the, shall we say, practice squad scheduling kind of deal. He got demoted from the starters today in practice.
Boo.
And Martavis Bryant, of course, calling out Juju Smith-Schuster on social media. And look, this is a guy who had a lot of promise going into this season. You thought he would be that legit number 2 aside with Antonio
Killer Bees.
Brown. Exactly. And it's just not panning out that way.
Fail. Sad face. Look, Bryant, if you're going to attack someone, do not attack the social media darling of the NFL right now, which is Juju Smith-Schuster. What Juju did to Mia Khalifa today was fantastic, or today and yesterday with the stiff arm gif and the 6 red X's. It's great. And then he has the gall to come out at him and go at him on Instagram. Not cool. Don't like it.
Martavis Bryant not going to be playing this week as well against the Detroit Lions. Mike Tomlin announced that today because of the social media poor decisions by Bryant. As we said, we want comments. Here's one from James Rodriguez. You guys are annoying. Hey, James, thanks for watching.
Thanks
buddy.
for watching, James.
Appreciate
You know
it.
what? You have the same name as a famous soccer player that was bad in Real Madrid. So, take that. Gotcha.
That's actually a little more worse.
Football.
A little more worse than you guys just watch. Why are you guys yelling? Remember that comment? Why are you guys yelling?
I don't know. Why are we yelling?
I don't know why we're
Loud noises.
Let's get to number 4 in our LVP Power Rankings. Jamison Crowder, a popular sexy pick among fantasy circles going into this season. You thought maybe he could be that number 1 guy after Garcon left. Garcon going to the 49ers. Crowder had a pretty good year last year. Now, with more responsibility, he's been worse, which I don't get.
Well, it just tells me that he's getting the more elite corners on the other side. And also it tells me that Terrell Pryor should also probably be on this list. This should really be Jamison Crowder / Terrell Pryor, because both have been awful. And I think that's what's been holding them back this year. Not to mention Josh Doxson hasn't been able to do anything. That Redskins wide receiver core has had some major, major problems this year.
So Crowder there at number 4 in our LVP Power Rankings. Number 3, this guy's on my fantasy team. Not that anyone cares, but Jay Ajayi. He's getting a ton of work, Harris, but his yards per carry average is not very good, and he's not scoring, and that's the big problem.
He's just, the man has 2 bad knees, and he's already, 25, 26? I'm worried about Jay Ajayi. I'm worried that his best days are already behind him. He had so many carries last year. So I'm a little worried about Jay Ajayi.
And he looked like an elite running back at times
He did.
last
He
year.
looked so good.
Remember those 200-yard performances?
He looked so good that he got himself onto an NFL commercial. That's how good he looked.
Yeah, there you go.
Not anymore.
That's Peyton Manning territory, Harris. Jay Ajayi there at number 3. How about number 2? This guy could be here for a while. Hugh Jackson, head coach for the Browns. He looks lost. He doesn't know what he's doing.
No comment, Cam. Actually, no, I do have a comment. Go read what Hugh Jackson said at his press conference today about pulling quarterbacks too early, and that's all you need to know about why he's on this list.
Okay, there you go. A little Google search for you folks at home.
Done with Hugh Jackson.
Hugh Jackson there, number 2. Finally, at number 1, Joe Flacco, quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, Super Bowl MVP back in the 2012-2013 campaign. Now, number 1 in the LVP Power Rankings, Harris. Wow. A fall from grace, if you will?
A fall from grace, just kind of is the term expected grace a thing? I don't know.
I guess.
I don't do grace. I'm Jewish. So, look, he's been bad, and the Ravens have been bad. Once their defense stopped turning the ball over 50 times a game, they haven't been able to do anything. It's kind of a shame.
So Joe Flacco has continued to struggle for the Baltimore Ravens, coming off that loss against the Minnesota Vikings. Let's recap the LVP Power Rankings, Harris. Bryant there, then Crowder at 4, Ajayi at 3, Hugh Jackson at number 2, and Joe Flacco at number 1. Which of these guys has the best chance of getting out? Anybody have a prayer?
Jay Ajayi, if he runs for like 110 yards, he can get out. Jamison Crowder, if he does well. But Martavis Bryant, probably not. Martavis Bryant should honestly go to Chicago. I think that'd be a great spot for him. We'll do a couple trade deadline things over the next couple days, but Martavis Bryant's probably going to get
Chicago
traded.
has been swirling as a rumor with Martavis Bryant, so we shall see. Cam Rogers here alongside Harris Rubenstein on NFL Daily Wednesday edition, hump day if you will, presented by Mizzen and Main. Fantastic performance fabric shirts.
I have a question for you, Cam, besides Mizzen and Main. Was hump day always a thing with Wednesday, or did that guy go commercial with the camel make it hump
I think
day?
it was the camel. No.
Was it
Maybe
hump day
it's a chicken
before
and
that?
egg situation where we just don't know. But it's a recent phrase. Like, I didn't hear it in high school much, or at least the early days in high school, but what have you.
Hump day.
There you go, hump day. So let's revisit what we have so far in terms of our MVP Power Rankings before we go off the rails with our conversation topics. Leonard Fournette in at number 10, running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Dak Prescott making an appearance at number 9. There's Todd Gurley there at number 8. He's been around so far this year. Deshaun Watson there at number 7, having a great season in his own right. Alex Smith there at number 6, yet to throw an interception. Drew Brees at number 5.
Breezy.
And we still have 4 through 1 to go. But first things first, Harris, did somebody get the trivia question right?
We had a couple people get the trivia question right. Let's see. Jason Butcher got it correct. Jack Lee Morris got it right. Chris Bell was correct. It is Brett Favre and Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees needs 12 completions.
There you go.
To get to that vaunted 6,000 completion mark. But congratulations to our participants. We will have another trivia question in a couple more slides, so stay tuned.
So there you go. Manning, Favre, and Brees. Looks like he's going to get there this coming week.
Yes, most likely. Again, quite the vaunted territory. Drew Brees, first ballot Hall of Famer. Not like Eli Manning.
Lots of good company right there. All right, let's get into the crux of our MVP Power Rankings. The top 4. Number 4, Antonio Brown, wide receiver for the Steelers. still gets it done despite the fact that Ben is just, not as Ben-like as he used to be.
I don't even know if there's such a thing as being Ben-like anymore. I think he has officially lost the shenanigans that was the Big Ben stuff. I'm a little sad because I really do think that Antonio Brown could be even better this year, but he's still leading the NFL in receiving yards. I'm pretty sure he still has like 200 more receiving yards than the next highest guy, which is ridiculous. So he has 765 receiving yards on the year. Number 2 guy is AJ Green with 545.
That's insane.
Antonio Brown is roasting the entire NFL this year, and he deserves to be on the list. Cam, we had shenanigans all over the place of people trying to tell me, oh, Antonio Brown isn't the best wide receiver in football. Antonio Brown is the best wide receiver in football, and Antonio Brown might just be the best non-quarterback offensive player in the NFL right now.
I was just going to say, Harris, I think Antonio Brown is an elite wide receiver in his own right, but probably the most elite player within his respective position group.
I think that he is so far and away the best wide receiver in football right now that it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like, there just isn't anyone on his level right now. He's incredible. And, I think his touchdown number would be higher if the rest of the Steelers team was catching so many touchdowns. So, I don't know. We'll see. We do have a fun little question here for...
Yeah, you like this one,
I do like this one. It's a fun reaction poll. Remember, the MVP Power Rankings, we'll have trivia, we'll have fun reaction polls in this one, just interesting topics. Which position has the best group of young players? I want to get to people's reaction on this. Is it running back? We got people like Kareem Hunt. We got Leonard Fournette. Dalvin Cook, who unfortunately went down. Saquon Barkley coming in next year. Wide receiver. We have Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Mike Evans, to name a couple. Quarterback, Carson Wentz. Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, and then cornerback even, Marshawn Lattimore has been incredible for the Saints. Best corner in the NFL by Pro Football Focus.
Yep.
You have Jalen Ramsey, Marcus Peters. We have a lot of great young players in the NFL right now. We're getting a lot of hearts. We're getting a lot of reactions all over the place. This is what you like to see.
I want to give the guys on the defensive side of the ball the credit.
Okay.
Here. I'm going cornerback.
I like it, Cam.
I
Thank
love
you.
the way in which some of these secondaries are playing. Trevor Williams is a cornerback, almost like an unsung hero for the Los Angeles Chargers, who is graded just as high as Casey Hayward there. So, there are some really good, sneaky corners out there.
I am going to actually have to go. I love your defensive pick, and I very much agree with you. But on the offensive side of the ball, I actually think that the running back position has the best group of young players. We have not seen a stable of young running backs like this in a very, very, very long time. We've always had good young quarterbacks. Good young quarterbacks have always cycled through the NFL. I think this running back core is something special.
So Johnny chiming in with quarterback, Steven saying wide receiver easy, Chris Bell says RB at the moment, so many different responses there about the reaction poll. So we have to move on now.
Yes.
We have to move on. It's time to get to those top 3 in the MVP Power Rankings. Le'Veon Bell, another member of the Killer Bees. He's playing a fantastic year, and you thought maybe he would start out a little slow after the holdout, and he did a little bit, but now he is just turning it on.
He's number 3 for this run and this run alone because what he did to Trey Kirkpatrick. Le'Veon Bell, I have such a love affair with Le'Veon Bell because, first of all, he is far, 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 far and away the best running back in football. The only competition he has is David Johnson. David Johnson isn't playing. It's 1A and 1B, but Le'Veon Bell is on another planet right now.
35 carries?
On another planet right now than other people. Because, look, he breaks out large runs, but what's crazy about him is that his yards is, his average yards per carry is 4, but you constantly, if you're watching him, 5 yards, 7 yards, 8 yards, 12 yards, 11 yards, catching the ball, 7, 8, 9. Like, he is so versatile and so good. He is unstoppable. He is one of the few unstoppable players, and the reason I have him ahead of Antonio Brown is just because I believe that the running back position matters a little bit more, but Le'Veon Bell is so good. He is so good. He is far and away the best running back in football right now. Like, I'm sorry, Kareem Hunt fans. Le'Veon Bell's better. I'm sorry. No question in my mind.
Okay, all right, you heard the man. So we have a reaction poll for you folks out there. Who is a bigger key to the Steelers' success right now? Le'Veon Bell, give us a heart. Antonio Brown, give us a wow face, laughing face for Big Ben. I don't think we're going to get many laughing faces, Harris.
No,
I think it's going to come down to Bell or Brown.
I'm going to make sure that we get 0, and if I notice any, I'm going to yell because Big Ben's awful. And, I did just go off and say that Le'Veon Bell, best running back in football, running back position means more. It kind of has to be Le'Veon Bell. Antonio Brown has been fantastic this year, but there's only so much a wide receiver can do on the football field. But Le'Veon Bell, in my opinion, is the second most, a running back is the second most important position on the field in terms of offense in today's game, especially when he's such a good receiver. I think Le'Veon Bell is the best player on the Steelers, and Le'Veon Bell might just be the best player in the AFC outside of Tom Brady. I'm serious. I really think that he's that good.
Okay.
He's legendary.
Killer Bees getting it done for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Mizzen and Main getting it done in the apparel department.
The best.
NFL Daily, presented by Mizzen and Main. Head on to comfortable.af for these just really fantastic performance fabric shirts. They're breathable, they stretch, wicking away moisture. That's the MO of these shirts. They're really fantastic. Great for any time, though. Great for wearing to work. Great for going out. Machine washable, no ironing and drying. Dry cleaning, it doesn't get any better.
They were great to wear when it was super duper hot in Texas, and they've been great to wear now that it's starting to get a little bit cooler. They insulate you and they also cool you down. This performance fabric stuff, Cam, as they say on their website, this is 22nd century kind of stuff that they have going on here. I love this performance fabric. They're my favorite kinds of shirts. Again, these shirts are worth the money. We live in a capitalistic society where a lot of things that you pay for are not worth the money, like cable. These shirts are worth the money. Pay money for these shirts. I swear you will not regret it.
The website there, right at the bottom, comfortable.af. By the way, Harris, another thing that they do, they give back to charitable organizations that give for veterans in America. So just another great reason to love this company, that they give to the veterans. So many thanks to Mizzen and Main for coming along here on NFL Daily. Let's get into number 2 in our MVP Power Rankings. This guy is a baller, Harris. Carson Wentz, quarterback for the Eagles.
Carson Wentz has been fantastic, and I think it's him and Brady 1A and 1B right now. I think that Wentz is so good. And the only reason he isn't at number 1 right now, in my opinion, is just because second-year quarterback, tough to win an MVP as a second-year quarterback, but he's been spectacular this year. He's cut down on his interceptions that he had a problem with last year. I really do think that Carson Wentz is one of the best players that we have in the game right now. It's awesome to see him go from year 1 to year 2 and explode in such a big way. He's blossoming in front of our eyes. The North Dakota kid, the real Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, you are a fraud and you've been replaced.
Fraud alert.
I'm a big Carson Wentz fan, and I was last year even when he was struggling. Just give these guys time. Let these quarterbacks develop.
Okay, so with that, Carson coming off a good performance, has he done enough in your eyes to be a favorite?
I believe he has, simply because Eagles currently sit with the best record in football, and they don't have the best record from beating a bunch of slouches. They've played some very good football teams, and I think that Carson Wentz, what's crazy, he might only get better this season. But what I want to see from Carson Wentz last year, big issue later in the season with his overall statistics and turning the ball over. As the season went on, he turned the ball over a ton. This year, I want to see Carson Wentz cut down on the turnovers. And I think that so far he has, but we'll see if he can do it the second half of the year.
And a big we'll see, because Jason Peters no longer there on that left side to help him out. That's going to change things around for that offensive line. May have to speed up the release there for Carson Wentz, and a few more 3-step drops. We shall see. But, when you lose a guy like that means a lot.
And especially, like you said, one of the best, if not the best, pass-blocking left tackle in all of football. We saw Carson Wentz struggle against the Panthers when Lane Johnson was out with an injury, and he was really feeling it in the first half of that game, not really being able to get anything going. So we'll see what this Peters injury does. In theory, it shouldn't hurt him too much, but you never know.
Yep. So Carson Wentz, throw in your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, on that weigh-in. We'll show your comments throughout the rest of the broadcast here. So we've counted down 10 to number 2. There's only one person left to name. He is, dare I say it, the GOAT, Tom Brady, quarterback for the New England Patriots. What revenge! The Falcons looked hapless on Sunday Night Football against these Patriots, and Brady balled out again.
As Colin Cowherd said on his show, we've now learned that the 28-3 lead that the Falcons has, that was the outlier, not what the Patriots came back with. Look, he's been amazing this year. At 40 years old, leading the NFL in passing yards. His efficiency has been off the charts this year. He has been the reason I have him at number 1 over Carson Wentz. If you want to rank your MVP based off of who is the most valuable player to their team, there's no one more valuable to their team in the NFL right now than Tom Brady is to the Patriots. I don't know, whatever you want to say about Jimmy Garoppolo, Tom Brady is the reason that they're winning games. He's been spectacular so far this year. I understand people are going to be mad because everyone hates the Patriots, but there are a lot of options for number 1, but I think Tom Brady has stuck out this year in a big way.
Okay, so Tom Brady there at number 1.
He's also the Vegas favorite right now to win.
There you have it. And a big-time matchup against the Chargers and Joey Bosa and Ingram there on that front line for Los Angeles. So big test for Tom Brady coming up. So he's our number 1 guy in our MVP Power Rankings here in Week 8. Let's revisit our list here. There is Leonard Fournette at number 10, running back for the Jaguars. Not sure if he's going to play this week, so we'll see if he practices. He's got the ankle that he's dealing with, but he's there at number 10. Dak Prescott there at number 9, quarterback for the Cowboys. There's Todd Gurley at number 8, continuing to play well for the Rams. Deshaun Watson there at number 7, quarterback for the Texans. Alex Smith at number 6. Harris, before we move on, I want to say this is probably the biggest point of contention among our audience. A lot of people liked Alex Smith higher, heck, even at number 1.
And you know what? I don't doubt them, and I think that if he continues to play well, he will. It's just, they lost last week, so he's going to take a bump. We'll see. I think there's a lot of people that have made the Chiefs good. I think Alex Smith has been fantastic. I'm not going to say he hasn't been, but at the same time, a lot of the other guys that we have on this list, their teams have been good solely because of him. I think the Chiefs have not solely been good just because of Alex Smith.
Okay, Alex Smith there at number 6. How about Drew Brees at number 5? Really love to see him continuing to play well. Great job by Brees and the Saints at this juncture. First place in the NFC South.
There you go. Example of a guy whose team has only been good because of him.
Antonio Brown there at number 4. An elite wide receiver, the number 1 wide receiver according to Pro Football Focus. As we check in with number 3, Le'Veon Bell, another member of the Killer Bees for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Carson Wentz at number 2, coming off a stellar performance in primetime against his rival Washington Redskins. And finally, Tom Brady there at number 1, the odds-on favorite, according to Vegas, to win the MVP.
Actually, a pretty heavy odds-on favorite, actually. He's to the point where he's at minus odds, where everyone else is still plus. I think Brady's like minus 150 right now to win the MVP, which isn't a surprise because he was the favorite coming into the season. And, he has been fantastic while the defense had issues. But as soon as the defense tightened up a little bit, there you go. Patriots back to winning games.
Okay, so Tom Brady finishing off our MVP Power Rankings. This has been NFL Daily, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back here 6 o'clock Eastern time for the Team Power Rankings, Harris.
Very excited. Very excited. Now, here, a little hint. The Patriots are not the number 1 team in our power rankings.
Whoa!
And I did not have them as number 1 team in our power rankings, so
By the way, get us on the go. Search us on iTunes and Google Play to get the podcast version of NFL Daily. For Harris Rubenstein, I'm Cam Rogers. We'll see you next time.